love this. Lainee Hunter. Please tell everybody who you are. Introduce yourself to the viewers.
Oh, the viewers. Hello, viewers. I am Lainee Hunter. I'm a dancer, singer, performer based out of New York City. Shuga and I did a show together this past summer, the best little house in Texas. We continue to stay in touch, so thank you for having me on your show. I post on Instagram every once in a while, like crazy things that I've made or tried to make, because cooking for me really just kind of is like a creative outlet and is calming. And I'm excited that everybody's finally on board with making some homemade meals.
First, tell me, how have you been through this whole Corona quarantine?
I've been good. What's funny is, so my fiance Ben and I are supposed to get married this August.
Yes.
As of now, the wedding's still on, but we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do and if we need to move it. But the joke has been, this is a great premarital test.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And he can truly see the domestic goddess that I can.
Come on, domestic goddess. Come on, I'm applaud that. Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
He works all the time, so I just feed him 3 meals a day.
Okay,
Stick it
okay.
at the door. So it's been good.
Do you find that cooking has been even more of a therapy during this time of Corona?
100%. And there's this article I read a while ago that's kind of stuck with me, but especially during this time, that explained why people love home cooked meals, particularly by their family members or their mom. And it's because, and I have a science background in college. I did not study dance, I studied science. So I can say there's some truth to this.
Come on, science, yes, I love that.
Is that when you cook, chemicals, and I hate to say it too, but we all shed skin cells, stuff like that. But mostly like the chemicals and pheromones, if you will, come off of you and kind of go into the food. And it almost in a way, it tastes better because there's a little element of that person's energy and kind of chemical makeup in the food too. So I think food is like very nurturing, and I love like YouTubing how to better chop or dice an onion and just really kind of honing in on those skills. And it's been so fun to just distract myself with like learning more and then making food that makes Ben feel really good, and then me too.
Now let me go back to your point about the science. So for those people that can't cook, so when they're struggling and they can't cook, does the essence of that struggle go into the food? That's what makes it taste bad?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
I had to know. Because then it would explain like, oh, this is why it doesn't taste right, because you double struggling. But still, thank you for
You probably just added too much salt.
Perhaps. What are you gonna cook up for us today?
So this, it was so hard to pick something. This recipe is probably one of my and Ben's most favorite thing to order at a restaurant down the street from us. John George, he is amazing. He has 2 Michelin stars for this restaurant, John George, which is a very big deal. A Michelin guide, if you guys don't know, is basically put out by Michelin in France that awards restaurants and chefs for creativity. There's this kale salad that you can add things to. If you want to do like chicken on the top, you can do shrimp, you can do tofu. I've had all of that. You can do steak. You can leave it as it is, which I usually do as well. So it's a good base, and it just tastes so fresh. If you get a chance, go to Nougatine. Don't tell John George I was inspired by his salad and was like, what is in this? And how can I just kind of figured it out. It's easy to make. And then later, and I'm invited back, I can teach you some crazier things. But yeah, that's what
I like that. I'm all about you being a guest again. As Shuga says, let's talk. I almost said Shuga says, let's eat. That's what you made me think about food. But let me go back to let's talk. But maybe we are let's eating today. See if you can magically put the food through the camera after.
Yeah, just like, here's a lemon through the...
There we go. But that sounds delightful. So yes, take us along on this journey.
Break down what you need for this recipe. Just a bag of kale. Don't get the Tuscan kale because it's too rough. An abundance of garlic. Okay. I love garlic. My mom's big joke She loves to tell people, oh, well, my 2-year-old had garlic breath because I was eating so much garlic as a baby. She would feed me garlic at 2.
Oh my goodness gracious. And you know what? During this time of Corona, having so much garlic is, I understand, supposed to be very healthy for the body.
And
so
lemon
that's good.
too.
And the lemon. Mm-hmm. All right, so come on, healthy regimens. I like that.
Mayonnaise. If you are vegan or egg-free, they make a vegan version of this. Mustard seeds. That can really spice up the dressing if you're into that flavor. Again, not necessary. Italian herbs. And then if you're a fan of it, black pepper.
Yes.
Salt. Not too much salt though. We don't want to be a salty crew.
You've been working on that one.
So bad. And then a jalapeno pepper, which I could not get my hands on today. So I apologize. Cooking is all about improvisation, which is sometimes how the best restaurants and recipes come up with things. So I have red chili pepper. This balancing with the mint and the lemon and garlic is the key to what makes this so unique.
Ooh,
I'm telling you. I wish I could just give this to you, Shuga.
Yes.
The last thing are this. Guys, don't open these before you start cooking because you will eat them all.
Oh.
These are oven baked cheese bites.
Oh, okay.
It's Parmesan cheese. And these are so good. You could also do like just Parmesan crisps from your local market, but they look like this.
Oh, yeah. Show me. Oh, there you go. Oh, I like that it sounds so nice and crunchy. Oh, spice smells delicious.
To mix your dressing, any sort of blender, we're gonna chop the kale in a certain way that makes this really special. You can use the magic bullet for that.
Okay.
Or the best thing is a Vitamix or a big boy like that. I wanna talk about blades really quick. This is a blending blade. You see how it sticks up?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the chopping one. This is what you'd find in a food processor.
Okay.
You don't want to use this for any of this. Are you ready to get this started? Yeah. All right. And I've like pre-chopped this, but I'll show you how it works. See how that looks?
Oh, that looks so nice and fluffy.
That's what you want. That's going to make this just like eating a little cloud. You're going to take a little handful of your kale. You're going to take some mint. Ooh. All my stuff is washed, but please, like you're washing your hands, wash your food. Throw the mint in there too.
I like how you just like, splash.
Smells so good. And then you're gonna pulse this 6 to 8 times. It'll look and sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I do one more. 7. Then super easy. You just shake it out. Then we're gonna make the dressing. So for your dressing, this is what's fun about recipes like this too, is you can really adjust how much you want things to be flavored. Here, I'll scoot this back so you guys can see me. I'm tall, so I have to like squat.
You are, well, you're like 5'10", yes?
Yeah, I'm like a big demi-plie, so you can see the top.
Strengthen those thighs.
So to start, I always put the mayonnaise in first because you'll get a good gauge. A tablespoon, just like a standard spoon. You could use a professional like scoop of it, but what's fun about cooking, the best chefs never really measure an ounce, so half of this in there. So this is kind of the consistency. Herbs, you can add as much or as little as you want. So I just usually do like 4 or 5 shakes. The reason I'm not using fresh herbs is because it would kind of overpower with the mint, and I want the mint and the jalapeno to really come through.
Okay.
But because I don't have any jalapenos.
Yes. You know what? I thought that's what the word was. You know, this was back in high school, so if everybody's listening, I have matured. I told my friend we went to a restaurant. I said, "Oh, I want to try these jalapenos," and she's like,
"Those what?"
I said jalapenos. She's like, "Jalapenos?" I said, "Oh, that's how you spell it." You know, this is why coming from another country, I'm familiar with that word. It does look like jalapenos.
Jalapenos. Heck yeah. There's no H in there.
Yeah, what is that? Just like rendezvous. I saw that word for the first time and I was like, these rendivinous affairs. No.
Rendivinous. That's cool. That's a cool word. was gonna name their kid Rendevinus.
You're right. All from this here video, Rendevinus will be born. Okay, and then you just give a little twist of salt.
Just a little of some salt. And then I want to show you guys a garlic trick that I learned from a chef.
Oh, exciting.
Here is our garlic. You're gonna take the fat part of your knife, put it over the garlic, just like this, and then you're gonna smash it like that.
Oh.
It takes that weird shell off in one clean hit. What the chef taught me was to really like get out more flavor from the garlic. Keep the dull side of the knife down. Oh. Smash that first, as if you were chopping it, same like rocking motion. We're beating up the garlic, or like a very dull chop with the back of your knife.
Right.
Then if you needed to further chop it for food, you could flip it over and continue to chop this way with the blade. Mm-hmm. Never scrape your knife onto your cutting board with the blade because it will dull it. So use the back, and then you have your little scoop.
Nice. And into the dressing we go.
If you like the flavor of mustard seed in your dressing too, the last batch I made it and it was really, really good if you kind of want it to be a little more spicy. Now we're going to attach the right blade to this, please, or else you will be blending for a very long time. To this magic bullet, I'm gonna give it a blend. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll show you without dumping it on my MacBook. There you go.
Yes, that looks so creamy.
Light here. I'll go in with my spoon.
Wow.
Good consistency, and then I'm gonna give it a little taste. Oh, that's so good.
Ooh!
It's delicious. Before we mix that into the salad, let's bring back my beauties.
Yes.
So we're gonna take some cheese bites, just like that. And then just give them a rough chop. Now, technically, anytime you're chopping food, you would do the claw, like if this was an onion or a vegetable, so that the knife blade, I'll show you, if I'm chopping, it hits my knuckle before it hits my fingers. And that's how we don't lose fingertips. Pop it up. Then again, flipping the knife, you can scoop it onto the back. You're just gonna dump it on top of. If I had my jalapeno peppers or serrano chilies too, I think those are the little green ones. Add those now. So you get the flavor of the jalapeno, dice it or chop it, keep them in the little rings, and then take out the seeds and kind of that center part, because the seeds and the oils are really what make it super, super hot. But I want you to have the flavor of the jalapenos with the mint, because it is so good, and the Parmesan cheese, and then on top of that, this. So now it's very simple. I wouldn't add my meat or anything yet. I'll just take the dressing, give it a little drizzle. Now, a trick that I also learned is if you go around the exterior of your bowl,
yes,
it will sink down because the bowl is shaped like this. It gets to the bottom of the bowl, which is like genius, because then it makes it much easier
to toss.
Yeah, and then I'll just toss it.
Ooh, that looks so nice,
and
like fluffy.
Light and fluffy this is. Also, fun fact about chopping up your kale like this before you eat it, it's so much easier on your body to digest. By doing this, you can have wine with it instead of water and not feel bad. And then I am just such a sucker for mint. I even put it in smoothies too. It just changes the game. To release like oils out of bigger torn leaves, you can just smack it.
Oh, wow.
Sprinkle it on top. Oh, your hands smell so good. All that love and oil from my palms go into my food.
Yes, yes.
If I had a piece of grilled chicken, shrimp is really, really good on this. I'm telling you, like any of that stuff.
Yes.
Ta-da!
Look how, oh, that looks awesome. Can't taste it. Somebody has to taste it.
I know, someone's got to taste it. All right, let me make sure I get a nice big cheesy crouton.
I'm so excited.
So that it's like you're on the beach in France eating this like super minty, healthy salad, and then you have, you know, just like one glass of wine.
You must.
Wash it down. Happy quarantine.
happy quarantine. Oh, that looks so yummy. Wonderful. So you have the garlic in there, you have all the vitamins, and we need all the healthy components to help us keep our immunity up and to fight on so that we can either get better from corona or make sure we stay away from corona. When I go and I make my next grocery trip, look out for my photo of me creating that too.
So excited.
Because like you said, it just will be different. You know, while you're in quarantine, you got to come up with some new and inventive things that kind of lift your spirits. And between the flavors and the mint, and of course the wine, of course, that's like already creating a beautiful day that lets you feel like you're outside, but you're inside. What words of inspiration can you leave with us today to keep us smiling, keep us healthy as we continue through this quarantine?
What doesn't kill you does make you stronger. And, you know, if you have been sick and not feeling good and you've recovered from this, then like, what a testament to you and your health and all of us. There's such a mental aspect of this too, that maybe you do feel good physically, but are really struggling mentally. Like, it's as awful as it is, that will really shape our character as adults.
Yes.
And like, how great will all next generations be having parents that have lived through something so unprecedented. So, you know, it's so hard. I struggle with it every day, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is really, really making us so strong. I really think this is such a cool opportunity for us to reconnect, try some new things, take a break, reevaluate, and then stay healthy.
Well, you continue to be well, shine bright, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Shuga.
Bye.